Hello everyone. This is going to be a little tutorial on how to modify the parametric model that I've posted on printables and thangs. If you're coming from there, I'd just like to thank you for checking out my profile and downloading this model. First thing I'd like to say is that Autodesk has a free Fusion 360 subscription for any personal use. You're able to download that off their website and get an access key. So what you're going to, if you don't already, download the software. It's a pretty good software. I like it. Once you've done that, download the model, open it in Fusion, save it to their cloud. That's how it works. You save to the Autodesk cloud. Next thing you're going to do is come into the Modify tab and go to Change Parameters. Here, the default and the one I've modeled this around is the 7.25-inch diameter tank, but you can go up and down. The 5.25 one is pretty straightforward. I'll show you what a bigger one looks like here in this case. 204 millimeters is a bigger one. That's just over 8 inches. I've given it a bit more, or I've been told to give it a bit more because a lot of those big tanks have a mesh on them. So you want to give it a bit more tolerance so it sits nicely. Now you'll notice there's a bit of an error message here. This one here is just the way I modeled it. I put more hexagons than needed to cover the whole area. And the reason I did that is because so you can change the model. I haven't figured out how to do this any other way. There's just more than you need, and that's why it shows up yellow. I wouldn't recommend activating these ones because these little cutouts here that are added don't really add much to the aesthetic. But one thing it's kind of throwing a fit for is that because we're getting cut off here, that corner isn't filleted. So that's why this one is erroring out. And what you're going to need to do is select Fillet 12 and find these square edges that kind of met the end of the part at that stage in the modeling, but didn't get filleted. This will change, right? This width will change for every diameter tank. So there's no real way to tell it, oh, you need to fillet it at this size or this one at this size and the one after and even bigger. So this is just kind of something you have to do manually, or at least that's the way I figured it out. It's not ideal, but we get through it. This fillet has to do with the same thing. It's basically just looking for fillets that don't exist at this size tank. Once that's done, you can go up here, File, Export, name it under whatever you want. By default, it'll do a Fusion 3D file, which isn't sliceable or openable by any of your common slicers. So I recommend you go into Step and save it on your desktop or wherever is convenient.